Well, I didn't expect snow today. That's kind of interesting. It's beautiful. This microphone is going into this tiny little thing here, which is sending the audio signal through the air to the camera way down there. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is wireless audio. Does this look familiar to you? This is not a Rode Wireless Go. This looks the same, it sounds the same, but it's half the price. And at $129, it comes included with this lavalier mic, which you're hearing right now. Pretty darn good, huh? Here's another one that's half the price of the Rode Wireless Go. At $150, it also comes included with its own lavalier microphone. So come with me today on this amazing journey into the world of wireless audio. All right, today we talk about wireless audio systems. You are going to see so many wireless systems today, you are going to need plastic surgery to remove the wow from your face. Everybody's out there talking about the Rode systems, Rode. But there's a whole world of choices out there. Audio should be more than just what's the cheapest and smallest. Go ahead and get the smallest, cheapest camera, but don't skimp on audio. What you hear is so much more important than what you see. Today we are going to cover a mind-boggling array of wireless systems from $100 to $5,000. I don't use wireless systems anymore. I just record everything in my tiny little recorder in my pocket. The audio quality is just so much better. There's no interference, no humming, no buzzing, no noise. Wireless systems are kind of like my 1989 Ferrari. I hardly ever drive it. It makes lots of noise. It smells like gasoline. A new Honda Civic could easily beat it, but it's just so cool. And just like wireless systems, every now and then I just like to take it out and play with it. I love wireless. It's so much fun to play with. I must have like 30 or 40 of these, so let me share it all with you. My prerequisites for a wireless system are different than most people. Most people's priorities are, number one, lowest price, and number two, how far can it reach? My priorities are different. Mine is, number one, does it sound good? How good does it sound? Number two, easiest to use. The simpler, the better. Number three, small. I love small stuff. And number four, it looks cool and it's fun to use. People are so obsessed with how far away a wireless system can reach. I mean, if you're going to be a tiny speck on the horizon, you should be using a tiny little recorder in your pocket anyway. So really, all of these can reach pretty good. You're going to be normally 10, 20 feet away from the camera. All of these can do that. So that shouldn't even be an issue. I haven't used wireless in years because they just don't sound as clean as dedicated recorders, and they're not as dependable. Dependability is really important to me. Unexpected static or interference or dropouts could happen at any time with a wireless system. But I still love to play with them. They're just so cool. I love wireless systems. So I'm going to demonstrate each wireless system with some different microphones and some with and without processing. People using Sony wireless systems often wonder why some of their mics don't work. Well, Sony 1/8 inch 3.5mm plugs are wired different. Here, check this out. I screwed a Sennheiser mic right into the Sony transmitter. Nothing. No signal. What gives? Now watch this. Now I'm plugging a Sennheiser to Sony adapter into it first, then the microphone. Wow, it works! Sennheiser wiring is the standard for 1/8 inch 3.5mm TRS jacks and plugs. Same with Sanken and all the other 1/8 inch mics. You need to use a Sennheiser to Sony adapter if you're using a Sony wireless system, but not the really cheap consumer Sony systems, the more expensive ones. Okay, so there are two main types of wireless systems. There's the portable ones, where you just have a portable transmitter and receiver, but then there's the also ones with the base units that plugs into a wall. Now I know everybody wants to use little things like this, little portable transmitter, little portable receiver. I do too, I get that. But I just got to tell you, base unit systems sound better and cleaner because they have more power, they're just more beefier with their electronics. They're able to get a cleaner sound. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to give you some examples here today. Another big issue that wireless systems have that dedicated recorders don't is this. When you try to monitor your audio while you're recording, you hear this. So there I was walking down the street and I just started hearing this weird sound. That's because of the delay from the transmitter sending a signal to the receiver, transcoding it and putting it into the camera. You just get that weird sound, and it's so irritating. You can't even monitor your audio while you're recording with a wireless system. With dedicated recorder, no problem. Most people tend to go for the cheapest, smallest wireless system, but the cheaper you go, the more compression is used, which to the untrained ear might sound really good, but you're judging the raw recording, not the final product. The higher end systems use less compression, and they sound kind of flat when you first hear them, but you have a lot more to work with in post to make them sound fantastic and professional. The cheap ones, they've already got compression on it, so you can't really add compression on top of compression. Now it starts sounding really weird. So keep that in mind. Alright, so let's start going through these things and see what they sound like. Okay, so from this moment on, what you're going to hear is the actual untouched sound being recorded into a Sony a7S III for each system. Alright, this is the first wireless system I ever used and I still love it. It's so endearing. It's the Audio-Technica Pro 88. I don't know why they call it Pro. It's only $150. Pretty much any microphone you put in this thing sounds great. And they all have this really nice, pleasing sound when going through this wireless system. I just love it. It sounds good enough even without any post-processing. Right now I'm using a Countryman B6 lavalier microphone going into the Audio-Technica Pro 88. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a Countryman B6 lavalier microphone going to a very affordable Audio-Technica Pro 88 wireless system. And this is a DPA 6060 microphone. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a DPA 6060 microphone going to a very affordable Audio-Technica Pro 88. And this is the included microphone that comes with the Audio-Technica Pro 88. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to the included microphone that comes with the Audio-Technica Pro 88. Like I said, any microphone you plug into this, including the cheap little microphone that it comes with, sounds great. But you'll be amazed by the quality of the sound that this thing puts out. And it's only $150. It's one of the cheapest wireless systems out there. It's been out for a long time, but there's a reason they still sell it. So this is the Countryman B6 lavalier microphone. And it sounds good just by itself without even any post-processing. Just for curiosity, I switched to channel B. See if it sounds any different. So this is channel B on the Audio-Technica Pro 88. For $150, I don't know why they call it Pro, but it actually sounds like a Pro system. It's pretty amazing. Really nice. Alright, this is a Sennheiser AVX system. This has been my favorite for many years. It's really well made, it's really small, it's really portable, it's so easy to use. You just turn it on, it finds its own channels, and it's just ready to go right away. It's Sennheiser, so it's high quality, and the thing I like about it the most is it's very dependable. It's never let me down. The whole kit is $750, and it comes included with the microphone. This is one of the systems that does not require post-processing because the compression it uses to send the signal already makes it sound really cool. Right now I'm using my regular DPA 6060 microphone taped to my shirt. This is a Countryman B6 microphone. This is an Audio-Technica AT831 lavalier microphone. This is a Sennheiser ME102. This is a tiny little Sennheiser MKE1 lavalier microphone. Giant squid microphone going into the Sennheiser AVX. This is a Synco COS11D lavalier microphone going into the Sennheiser AVX. So this is a really easy to use system. Just plug it in and it works and it sounds great. There's no post-processing needed. It's dependable. There's so many reasons to like this. I know audiophiles might say it's too compressed sounding, but again, for people who don't want to add post-processing and want a nice punchy sound to it, this is great, just right out of the box. Now Sennheiser has another system, the G4, which goes for $650. I returned it. The AVX is smaller, it's easier to use, and the G4 quality is no better. I know lots of people got the G4 because it was heavily promoted, and if you're happy with it, that's great, but I returned mine and got a second AVX system. I like it that much. Before you run out and join everyone else getting a Rode Wireless Go, you want cheap? Well, here's one for half the price of the Rode. It looks the same, sounds the same, and works the same. It's the Synco G2. It's only $129, and that includes a lavalier mic that I'm using right now. Sounds pretty good, huh? But wait, it gets even better. This is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to the Synco G2 with the included microphone. It takes other microphones too. Let's try some other ones. This is the Audio-Technica 831, and this is the Synco COS11D, and this is a Countryman B6 lavalier microphone going into the Synco G2. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a Countryman B6 going into a Synco G2. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Well, of course it does. It's an expensive microphone, but you're probably not going to use an expensive microphone if you're the kind of person that buys a Synco G2. So this is what the included microphone sounds like that comes with the Synco G2. And it sounds pretty good even without any post-processing. And if you don't use any microphone at all, the transmitter has a built-in microphone so you can just clip it to your shirt, and this is what it sounds like when you do that. And if you do add post-processing, this is what it would sound like if you add post-processing to the thing just clipped to your shirt with no microphone. So of course now you're excited that you found your new cheap wireless system and you're ready for cinematic filmmaking. You're ready to be master of the YouTube universe with your new $100 wireless system. Well, let me just say this. If cheap, small, and easy to use is all that matters, then why isn't everybody driving a Ford Fiesta? Come on, don't you want to live a little? Don't you want to impress your friends with your equipment? Sure you do. So let me walk you through the showroom and show you some of the other models we have. Okay, this is a very lightweight portable system. It's a Shure FP wireless system. It costs $450. It's very easy to use. You just turn on the on button on both the receiver and the transmitter. That's it. There's nothing else to do. Very lightweight, very portable. It's one of the lower priced Shure systems, but it's very clean sounding. Right now I'm using a Shure Twinplex TL48 lavalier microphone. And with an adapter, you can use any other microphone that you want. This is a tiny little Countryman B6 lavalier microphone going to the Shure FP. This is an Audio-Technica AT831 lavalier microphone. And this is a Sanken COS11D lavalier microphone going into the Shure FP. And this is the DPA 6060. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a DPA 6060 microphone going to a Shure FP wireless system. I like things that are lightweight and easy to use, and this covers both of those. All right, this is a really high quality one. It's really well made. It's very rugged. It's kind of professional. The transmitter is a Shure UR1M. It's $350. And the receiver is a Shure UR5, which is $1,200, which means it's obviously pretty serious. It's really well made. It's really high quality. And this is a DPA 6060 lavalier microphone going to a Shure UR1M UR5. Now it does sound kind of flat, but that's good. That's what professional systems should sound like. So let's add some post-processing. This is what it sounds like when you add some post-processing to the Shure UR1M UR5 with a 6060 lavalier microphone. Now, being a more professional system, it does require a little more effort. You do have to scan for available frequencies, lock the IR and the RF and stuff like that. So it's a little more than just turning it on and it works. All right, let's try some other microphones. This is a Countryman B6 lavalier microphone going into the Shure UR1M UR5. This is an Audio-Technica AT831 going to the Shure UR1M UR5. And this is a Shure Twinplex TL48. And this is a Sanken COS11D lavalier mic going to the Shure UR1M UR5. And this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing with the Sanken COS11D. Now, being a more professional system, it does require a little more effort. You have to scan for available frequencies, lock the IR, the RF, and stuff like that. It's a little more than just turning it on and it works. This is a really cheap plastic Jobe Wavo Air 2-person system for $250. Right now I'm just using the cheap lavalier microphone that it comes with. And this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing with the cheap lavalier microphone that comes with the cheap plastic Jobe Wavo Air. DPA mics don't work with it, but most standard 1/8" mics will, so let's try some. This is a $35 giant squid microphone going into the cheap plastic Jobe wireless system. Alright, this is a Countryman B6 going into the Jobe. This is an Audio-Technica AT831, and this is a Sanken COS11D, but I doubt somebody who's going to have a cheap little plastic wireless system like this is going to use a really expensive microphone. And now we're back to the microphone that comes with the Jobe. This is pretty good. I wouldn't waste my money or time using other microphones on this cheap little system. Just use the microphone that it comes with and then just add a little post-processing to clean it up. And this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to the cheap plastic Jobe Wavo Air with a COS11D lavalier microphone. Alright, this is a Countryman B6 going into the Jobe. And this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to a Countryman B6. And this is the built-in mic on the transmitter. So if you just want to clip this cheap plastic thing to your shirt and you don't care what it looks like, this is what it would sound like. It doesn't get much easier than this. Alright, this is a very affordable Shure bass unit system. It's a BLX4 bass unit and a BLX-H10 transmitter. The whole system costs $380. The transmitter is $150, the receiver is $230. Very affordable. It's very lightweight. The receiver weighs nothing. It's like an empty plastic box. It feels cheap, but it sounds pretty good. This is the microphone that comes included with the BLX wireless system. And this is a DPA 6060. And this is a little tiny Countryman B6 lavalier microphone. This is an Audio-Technica 831. And this is a Sanken COS11D lavalier microphone. And this is a giant squid microphone going to the Shure BLX4 BLX-H10. And this is a Shure Twinplex TL48. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a Shure Twinplex TL48 going into the Shure BLX wireless system. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a Sanken COS11D lavalier microphone going into a very affordable Shure BLX wireless system. And this is the lavalier microphone that comes included with the Shure BLX wireless system. This is the 6060 again. I'm amazed by the sound that Shure wireless systems put out. I love it. Alright, this is a nice high quality system by Shure. It's a ULXD system. Costs about $1,400. Right now I've got a DPA 6060 going into it, pinned to my shirt. It sounds great and it's really clean sounding. And this is a Shure Twinplex TL48 lavalier microphone. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to the Shure Twinplex. Systems with bass units like this that you can plug into a wall usually produce a better quality sound than small, totally portable units, so keep that in mind. Notice the nice flat sound. Now the flat sound might sound boring right out of the box, but you're supposed to add post-processing. So this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a Shure ULXD wireless system with a DPA 6060 microphone running through it. And this is a tiny little Sennheiser MKE1. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a Sennheiser MKE1. And this is a Sennheiser ME102. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a Sennheiser ME102. And this is a Countryman B6 lavalier microphone. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a Countryman B6 lavalier microphone going to a Shure ULXD. Alright, this is another system with a bass unit. This is a Shure GLXD system. It cost $600, and right now I'm using the DPA 6060 microphone clipped to my shirt. This sounds very good. This system is really easy to use. The transmitter is really heavy duty, it's made out of metal, and it just has an on-off switch. That's it. There's nothing else to do. The bass unit is really easy. You just turn it on and it pretty much does everything automatically. Now I'm like you. I like to use portable wireless systems, but there's something very pleasing about using a bass unit. You can hear the better quality, and I don't know, it just sounds better, it feels better, and it comes in a nice case. That makes me feel good. This sounds so good by itself, it doesn't even need post-processing. I like this one a lot. And it's really lightweight. This thing it's like an empty plastic box. It's funny, but the quality is really good. I'm really surprised. It's so easy to use and it doesn't cost much. In the wireless department, Shure's got it down. That's where they excel. This is the Shure GLXD system, and it sounds really good. $600. Alright, this is the Sony UWP-D series. It's a UTX B40 transmitter and a URX P40 receiver. It costs $1,000, and this plugs into any camera with an 1/8 inch 3.5mm jack. It does not use a Sony hot shoe connection. And right now I'm using a Synco COS11D lavalier microphone. It sounds nice and clean, but it also sounds kind of distant. So let's add some post-processing. This is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a COS11D microphone going to a Sony UTX B40 wireless system. And this is a giant squid microphone going to a Sony UTX B40 wireless system. And this is a Countryman B6 lavalier microphone. And this is a Sennheiser ME102. And this is a Synco COS11D lavalier microphone. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a Synco COS11D going to a Sony UTX wireless system. Okay, this is a Sony UTX system with a UTX BO3 transmitter and a URX PO3 receiver, which you can get as a single or two-channel receiver. The system costs $1,000, and it's rugged and really well made. You don't need one, but if you have a Sony camera, it communicates right through the hot shoe, so you don't need any cables. Right now I'm using a Synco COS11D lavalier microphone, and this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to a UTX BO3 transmitter with a URX PO3 receiver with a Synco COS11D lavalier microphone. Okay, this is a Countryman B6 lavalier microphone, and this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to a Countryman B6 going to a URX PO3 UTX BO3. Alright, this is a Saramonic TX9 system, otherwise known as a UW Mic 9. Boy, did they try to copy the Sony yellow-black look or what. These are really heavy duty. They feel solid, like made out of metal. And they're really affordable. The two-person system is only $300 and the one-person system is only $250. This is the microphone that's included with the Saramonic wireless system. Let's try it with some post-processing. This is what it sounds like when you add some post-processing to the microphone that comes with the Saramonic wireless system, which is pretty affordable and heavy duty and looks like a Sony system. So I'm going to try some different mics. This is a Countryman B6 microphone, Audio-Technica AT831. Sennheiser ME102, giant squid microphone going into the Saramonic. Alright, this is a really nice high quality one. It's an Audio-Technica 3000 series. It's really high quality. The bass unit is $400 and the transmitter is $300. I'm sure it can sound a lot better, but I have to use the microphone that it comes with. It comes with a special connector that I do not have an adapter for. So I'm just using the microphone that it comes with. Usually when you use the mic that comes with something, it's not as good as more higher end mics, but this system is really high quality. The transmitter is really well thought out. You have to open up the cover to be able to change anything, so you cannot accidentally turn it off. The bass unit is really high quality. I just wish I had other microphones to use with this thing, because I know I'm not bringing out the full glory of what this thing is possible of doing, but let's try some post-processing with this. This is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to the Audio-Technica 3000 series using the microphone that it comes with. I like the workmanship on this product. It's very well made. I think it sounds great. It's very clean sounding, very, very satisfying. Playing with this thing is a satisfying experience. All right, now coming in at $3,000. This is a Lectrosonics L-Series. This is a professional system, obviously. It's very heavy duty, made out of metal, and this is what the pros use. This is definitely not something a typical YouTuber would use, not just because of the price, but it's not that easy to use. First, you have to scan for available frequencies, then you have to lock the IR, then you got to make sure the RF is on. And there's so many things you have to do. It's definitely not something a typical person wants to do who just wants to turn something on and it works automatically. But this is what it sounds like when you use a DPA 6060 lavalier microphone on the Lectrosonics L-Series wireless system. Now it sounds kind of flat, again, because this is a professional system, so this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a Lectrosonics L-Series wireless system with a DPA 6060 microphone. Now obviously this is out of the price range as most people watching this on YouTube, they just want something cheap for $100, so okay, let's get back to those. Alright, here's a cute little one by Sony. It's so small you can fit both the transmitter and the receiver easily in your pocket. It's an ECM-W2BT Bluetooth system and it's only $230. Both the transmitter and the receiver have a built-in microphone, so you don't even need a lavalier mic. But the transmitter does have a mic jack, so right now I'm using a DPA 6060 lavalier microphone. And this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to a 6060 going into this tiny little thing. Let's try some different microphones. And this is a Synco COS11D. This is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to the Synco COS11D going to this tiny little Sony Bluetooth thing. And this is a Countryman B6. And this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to a B6 going into this tiny little system. And this is a Sennheiser ME102. This is an Audio-Technica AT831. Now I'm just using the built-in mics on the transmitter. This is what it sounds like if you just clip the transmitter to your shirt using the built-in microphone. And this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to the built-in mic dangling on your shirt. Now remember, both the transmitter and the receiver both have built-in mics. So you can be asking questions from behind the camera, which the receiver picks up, and then the person you're interviewing with the transmitter has their microphone. It's a cute little thing, and I like cute little things, but this thing is a little too touchy. The transmitter has a 0, -10, -20 switch on it. At 0, which it is right now, everything is kind of loud and compressed, and when I switch it down to -10, there, it's at -10 now, everything sounds too quiet and distant and noisy. It's really hard to get the levels just right. So it's a great concept, but I think for most people it'd be a little too frustrating. Before the Rode Wireless Go, there was the Rodelink Filmmaker wireless system, which is what this is right here. I've used this quite extensively over the years. I used it a lot with my Panasonic camcorders and it worked quite good. I'm actually using a cheap $35 giant squid microphone going to a $400 Rodelink Filmmaker wireless system. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to a giant squid microphone going to a Rodelink wireless system. This is the Synco COS11D, and this is an Audio-Technica AT831. This is a Sennheiser ME102. This is a Countryman B6 lavalier microphone going to the Rodelink wireless system. This is a little tiny Sennheiser MKE1 lavalier microphone. And this is a DPA 4080 microphone going into the Rodelink Filmmaker going into the Sony a7S III. And now we're plugged into a different camera. It's the same Rodelink wireless system with the same 4080, but going into a Panasonic camcorder instead of the Sony a7S III. So it does make a difference what you plug it into. All right, coming in at $5,000. This is a professional Sennheiser system. When Kara and I were on morning shows all across the country for the National Book Tour, this is the wireless system I saw that a lot of the TV stations were using. So I said, oh my God, if this is what the pros use, then I got to get this and I got to see what it's like compared to the cheap consumer stuff. And what a journey it was to piece this together. The transmitter is an SK5212 Mark II. It costs $600. You can get it on eBay. The receiver, this really cool looking thing here, is an EK6042 dual channel slot mount receiver, and it's $3,500. Wow. It is portable, it runs on batteries, but the dual batteries cost $300, and the battery mount needed to attach the batteries to the receiver cost $150, and the charger needed to charge these special batteries is $250. So that's $5,000 for this system. Right now I'm using a Synco COS11D lavalier microphone, which I found sounds better than Sennheiser mics, strangely enough, in the Sennheiser system. Now you might be saying, oh, it sounds kind of flat for a $5,000 system. Well, hopefully by now I've educated you enough to recognize flat sounding
sounding professional stuff. Don't be fooled by a flat, boring sound. That's what pro stuff sounds like right out of the box. So this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to something like this. A truly professional Sennheiser wireless system with a Sync and COS11D lavalier microphone. The menu is quite extensive and you can fish around in there so you can dial this thing in so you don't get the interference, but that takes a real professional. This is definitely not something a typical YouTuber is going to want to use. And not just because it's too expensive, it's just too complicated to use, just like the Lectrosonics system. Way too expensive, too complicated, and too professional. People just want a cheap little plastic thing for $100 they can turn on and it works. Well, this is not one of those. And it has a professional LEMO 3 connector, just like the Zaxcom, which is like a little tiny XLR connector that the pros use for stuff like this. You have to use mics with a LEMO 3 connector or simply get a Sennheiser to LEMO 3 adapter. All right, let's try some different microphones. So here's a Sennheiser mic going into the Sennheiser system. It's a Sennheiser ME102. And this is what it sounds like when you add post-processing to the Sennheiser ME102 going into the Sennheiser expensive wireless system. And this is a Voice Technologies VT506 lavalier microphone.
All right, the ever-popular Rode Wireless Go. The one that everybody's talking about and running out to get because it's so small and so portable and so easy to use. Well, it is all of those, and what's not to like? It's $200 for the one-person version with no lavalier mic, but it has a built-in microphone in the transmitter so you can clip it to your shirt and look like this if you're okay with that. And right now I have a $600 DPA 6060 microphone going into this little $200 wireless system. And this is what it sounds like. And this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to a $600 DPA microphone going into the little $200 Rode wireless system, going to a ridiculously expensive Sony a7S III. Now I personally refuse to use this unit, not because it's bad, it's well made, it works well, and small and affordable and all that. I refuse to use it because everybody's using it. And I don't want to be like everybody. I want to be different. Whatever people say is bad and not to use, that's what I want to use. I want to inspire people to do great things with things that are not really popular. If you want to be like everybody else, go out and get your Rode Wireless Go and stick your little Rode microphone into it. But do you really want to be like everybody else? Don't you want to be unique and individual and make your own statement in the world, blaze your own path, and show that anything is possible with anything? I don't want to be like everybody else. But that's just me. I'm different. All right, let's move on.
Remember that cheap little microphone I featured in the last video that came with that cheap little $100 wireless system? Well, here it is, plugged into the wireless system, and this is what it sounds like. It's a Movo, and it only costs around $100. And this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to the little cheap microphone that comes with the cheap little Movo wireless system. By the way, DPA mics don't work with the Movo system. Let's try some different microphones. This is the cheap $35 giant squid microphone going into the cheap $100 Movo wireless system. And this is the Audio-Technica AT831 lavalier microphone going into the Movo. And this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to the Audio-Technica AT831. This is a Countryman B6 lavalier microphone. This is a Sennheiser ME102. And this is a Sync and COS11D lavalier microphone going to the Movo wireless. Movo COS11D. And this is what it sounds like if you add post-processing to a cheap little Movo wireless system with a Sync and COS11D. So this is the cheap little Movo wireless system. It's like $100.
All right, so which ones do I like the most? Oh boy, this is like asking a parent which child they like the most. I like them all for different reasons. I personally have a warm spot in my heart for the Audio-Technica Pro 88. Only $150. It's the first one I ever had. It's just so friendly. It's so easy to use. It might be a little big and boxy for some people, but I love it. It has a warmth to it that I just love. The second one that I like the most is the Sennheiser AVX. This is the most trusty one. It never let me down. It's so rugged and easy to use. You turn it on, it works. It's so dependable. I know I'm going to get good stuff with this one. That's why I have two of them. The two that I'm mentioning have been around forever. They've been around a long time, and they're classics, and there's a reason they're so good. I like the Shures, especially the bass units. I love all the Shure bass units. They sound so clean, and I just love the way they sound. Of course, you have to plug them into a wall, but most places people shoot, even if you use an extension cord, there's usually a plug somewhere in the area, so I don't think that's that much of a problem. I like the Shure UR1M UR5 because the way it looks and it feels in my hand, I just love it. It's just cool to look at. It's not the greatest sounding. It's got like a lot of noise floor, but I don't know. I just like the way it looks. The Sonys look cool, but they're not my favorites. The Saramonic, which looks just like a Sony, really heavy duty. I think sounds almost as good or better than the Sonys. I love the FPs. I like simple things. The Lectrosonics makes me feel good because it's like a Mercedes. It's well built, it's trusty and everything, but I never use it. I'll probably give it away. I don't know. I know I've been bashing Rode. I love Rode. Rode is really good. They're really high quality. They're the newest thing. There's nothing wrong with the Rode Wireless Go. I like it. It's well made. I highly recommend it. I just don't want to use what everybody. If I see the internet filled with everybody following a trend, then I just don't want to use it because it's just too many people using it. I like using what nobody else uses. You know, that's just me. I could just swim in the world of wireless just because it's little toys to play with. It's just fun stuff to play with. I never use wireless seriously in my videos, but I just like to tinker and play with it. It's just so much fun to. It's like old classic cars. You like to just look at them and play with them. I don't know. All right, so now we have, I made a video about how to set the proper recording environment. Then I told you how to, pick a good microphone. Then we talked about what to record into. Here's the wireless systems. Now we're ready to make a video, right? Well, so now the next step is how to properly place and hide a lavalier microphone. So that's our next one. Everybody wants to just jump to just tell me just tell me what mic to use and tell me what post-processing to use. Like, okay, if you don't set the stage properly, then you're not going to get good audio. I mean, it doesn't matter. So stop trying to shortcut right to there isn't one thing in audio that just makes it sound great. Sorry, post-processing is not the magic answer to everything. So next week, the next proper step in the line of my videos of preparing for good audio is proper mic placement and how to properly attach and hide a lavalier microphone. So that's the next one. If you don't follow the basic foundation of good audio, you're not going to get good audio no matter what post-processing you have. All right, so that's our next one. Hope you're enjoying the audio series. I will see you next week. Until then, have a great week. It's actually snowing.